Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm very good, you?
Yep, good, thank you.
All set?
All set.
You've seen one of these before?
I have.
Good. Right, so you know what's coming?
I know what's coming.
Right, let's go for a drive. So, we're not going to talk Brexit. Definitely not. Everyone's had enough of that.
Yeah.
But here we are on the Park Farm in Wellingborough. Take me back to where it all started. Right back to the beginning.
Well, before the business? Beginning the business?
Yeah. How did it come about? How did Full Support start?
I think it was. I always knew I'd have my own business, but I wasn't sure what. So I've gone from nursing background to medical sales, through corporate life, out the other side, into motherhood, and made a decision for me that corporate life and parenting wasn't what I wanted. So that's when I started to think, okay, let's go self-employed. But really didn't know what I wanted to do. So my market was very much dominated by multinationals. And I think the feeling was in the beginning, how on earth does a small company enter this market and actually access raw materials production? So it was really going back to fact finding.
Because you're for people watching this that perhaps don't know Full Support, just give us a brief overview of that.
Yeah, so we manufacture single-use medical devices for the operating room and infection prevention, mainly selling to the NHS. And then the emerging, fast-growing part of the business now is respiratory protection for everybody. So NHS, private sector, healthcare, and then now into the industrial market, selling from everybody to civil engineering firms, construction, anybody that needs protection on their face for respiratory. So
when you started, I suppose it's not like the industry's got hundreds of these suppliers. I suppose you were only competing with a real niche set, and I would imagine the size of those companies were quite big. Huge,
all global multinational companies. There weren't really any SMEs. It's the sort of product and market where you are importing containers from the word go. You can't mess about with small volumes, so it's a big commitment. It's either jump in with both feet or don't do it. And obviously there was a lot of trust in existing brands that have been around a long time. So it's really looking at what are you offering that's different, what does the NHS need, what is it not getting from the multinationals, and how can we fit in.
So if we concentrate on the NHS, which I think is what a lot of people in this country probably take for granted, but it's fantastic. When you compare our health system to many other countries in Europe, but also further afield. What's the biggest challenge for you when you're selling to them?
Well, I think the landscape has changed greatly. So when we started, it was very much clinician-led, and there are advantages and disadvantages to that, but it's very much become procurement-led, and a lot of the products have been pushed down the commodity route, sometimes to the point of failure. Not our products, but key projects where buying agencies have tried to do sole source, and driven it down. That the criteria is 100% on price, and of course that panics companies, and they start to put product on the table that maybe is not going to actually be fit for purpose. I think there's more of a balance now. The criteria is starting to change. People have recognised that you can't just drive it down to the bottom. There needs to be more than fit for purpose. You need to look at why we're launching these products in the first place, why they're buying. It has to be centric to the patient care, and also protection for the staff. So there's been more sense come into it now. I think there was an element of price, and now people are going back to the drawing board to actually look at the fact that the products do need to work, and therefore they're looking at companies that can provide a total solution, not just a good price.
And on that, as I've got to know you and your business over the years, the one thing that I was not surprised with, but I was really impressed with, was the amount of training that you provide with customers. Because fit for purpose, I'm not in the industry, but wrongly presumed it was almost like a one size fits all. I didn't realise how much care and attention goes in, and then of course once it's explained, you then think, actually, do you know, that's really quite crucial, because it almost defeats the object otherwise if it isn't.
Yeah.
So how important is it for you to implement the right training, obviously to your staff and then to the customers and prospects?
Yeah, I think it's key really. I mean, the training that we provide for the NHS isn't just about people safely using products. It does actually help control budgets. You're reducing wastage, but before you can go out and train, obviously you've got to invest in your own staff. And I think the demand for education has been on the more complicated products, so especially on the respiratory products. We're now market leader for the NHS, and we have a wide range of single-use and reusable devices, and they are pretty tricky to use on your own. And in order for people to stay safe, what we had to do is make sure that our staff were experts. So of course it was pulling everybody in, pretty much putting through everybody through the Fit to Fit accreditation to make sure that they're recognised accredited trainers and that they're actually following HSE guidelines when they're advising others about how to protect themselves. There's a big implication on giving people the wrong advice when they go to work every day and maybe select the wrong product. And they could be breathing in anything from tuberculosis, chemicals, gases, vapours. So there's a big responsibility to make sure that we stay up to date and that we're always delivering the correct advice to others that's cascaded down really through the NHS. So it's a big part of what we do.
So here we've got a company. Just roughly, how big's your facility at Park Farm?
It's about 34,000 square feet.
So we've got this 34,000 square foot facility. A company that's been going for how many years?
Since I think we incorporated in 2002, and the first products landed in the UK 2004. So it's 2 years of product design, CE marking, and all the other stuff that you need to do to launch medical devices. Yeah.
So we've got the almost like the market leader within the NHS sector is in little old Wellingborough.
It is
nestled in Northamptonshire.
Centre of the universe.
So bring things back from to local. What do you love about Northamptonshire?
Well, this has been our work base, but also family home. Moving the children from Hertfordshire, I think the county offers fantastic opportunities in terms of employment. I'd like to see more companies offering work experience to young people, but in terms of the industries that it represents, it's vast. There's a lot of entrepreneurial people as well as the big companies, but it's fantastic from a sporting point of view, social life point of view.
You like your sport, don't you?
I do, and the whole family's sporty, but I think there is a real balance, and it's a very friendly county. You do notice coming up from the south that it has a lot to offer. We're very settled here, so yeah.